I want to share with you a little bit about the rewards of fear. The rewards of fear. Because make no mistake, fear does pay you. I'll explain it this way. I was raised by a single parent. Not my mother, not my grandmother, my great-grandmother. The woman that raised me was born in 1911. Yeah, I know, right? So you know I got that old school upbringing. Told you not to go outside. That's my life, man. But check this out, though. I lived with her until I was like 13 years old, and then she became too old to take care of me. And then I went to the social welfare system. I was in an orphanage about a year, and then I went to a place called Boys Town. After that, I finally came to Connecticut and lived with my biological mother for 2 years, and then I joined the U.S. Navy in 1982. Now, when I joined the Navy, I was halfway through boot camp, and my commander came to me and he told me that my great-grandmother had passed away. Then he told me that because she was not a close enough relative, not like my mother or father, that the rules did not allow me to leave to go to the funeral, to say goodbye. Now, I calmly explained to him that, well, really? That's my mom. Like, that's the person that rocked me to sleep when I was a little baby. That's who put a Band-Aid on my knee when I fell. That's who held my hand that first day of kindergarten. Whoever does those things for you, that's mom or dad if it's a man, regardless of what the relationship on paper is. Thank you. So I told him that. And he said, well, wait, I understand, but still, the rules are the rules, and there's nothing I can do. Now, imagine for a second that this is you. And like the worst has happened, you lost a parent, and some guy is telling you that because of some rule, you can't leave to go and say goodbye. Like, I wanted to like scream, jump up and down, like, look, you better call somebody, get the president on the phone. Like, somebody got to do something to make a decision. Right? But what I really did was nothing. Because I got scared. I accepted the first no that I got. Now remember, I was an 18-year-old kid, 1,000 miles away from home, and had no idea how a military chain of command actually worked. I was afraid that if I spoke up, I would just get told no again. I was also afraid that if I spoke up and I made a scene, I'd get in trouble. But in reality, one of two things would have happened. If I had tried harder, one of two things would have happened. I would have eventually wound up in front of the commander of that base who could have actually made a decision. That person would have said either, of course, I mean, you can go to your great-grandmother's funeral. I mean, people get out of jail to go to their parents' funeral. Or, they would have said no. But here's the thing, Harvey High School. If at that point I had been told no, I would have known that I had done everything that I could. I would have known that I had tried and gave it my all. I could live with that. But because I was afraid to try, I don't know. And I regret it. That regret is like an open cut on my heart that bleeds a little bit every time I think about it. Harding High School, fear pays you with regret. Fear pays you with regret. You never see a story about some old man laying on his deathbed, regret all the stuff that they tried. You never hear about somebody going, oh, I regret starting that business. I regret, climbing out of, no. You know what you hear them say? I regret not trying. I regret not going after my dream. I regret not taking that chance. Fear pays you with regret. But here's the good news. Each and every one of you has something right inside you that if you follow it, it will lead you through adversity, around difficulties, and straight to all the success that you were born to have. Each and every one of you has that thing. I call it your inner GPS. It's your greatest positioning system. And it works, yes, your inner GPS. I was in third grade. I was in Miss Matthews' class. I remember her name. That's how traumatized I am by this. But Miss Matthews was teaching us about the word autobiography. And to get us to understand the word, her homework assignment was go home and write your autobiography. And I'm like, I'm 8. What have I done? Come on, man. You know what? I didn't even like my life at 8. I didn't want to write about it. So I didn't feel like doing it. You ever have assignments you just didn't want, you used to feel like it? You know, you could do it, but you just don't feel like it. You're like, you know what? Civil War, I get it, I understand. Lincoln, the North, the South, I get it. I just don't feel like it. I want to play a video game. I don't feel like it. I didn't feel like doing that assignment. So, what I did, I wrote like 2 paragraphs just to have something to hand in. Went to school next day, my 1 sheet of paper, my 2 paragraphs. Who do you think got called on to read their autobiography in front of the whole class? Me! So I took my 1 sheet of paper, walked up to the front of the class, I read my 2 paragraphs, and then something happened. I didn't plan it. To this day, I can't really explain to you how it happened. When I got to the end of my 2 paragraphs, and I just kept talking. I started making stuff up. I thought about like how my father took us on vacation at Disneyland. Mickey Mouse had dinner with us at our table. Remember, I was raised by great grandma. They didn't know my father. I was just making it up. But here's the thing. I looked out at my classmates. Some of my classmates were actually sitting, leaning forward on their desk with their elbows on the desk, looking at me like, dude, your life rocks. I want to be you. You're awesome. Like, I totally had it for like 30 seconds or so. But the thing is, at 8, while you can come up with a good idea off the top of your head, the concept of thinking it through hasn't really sunk in yet. Remember, I only had 1 sheet of paper. I didn't turn it over. I think I got carried away and stopped looking at it. So finally my teacher called me and was like, Wayne, what are you doing? I gave her that one-of-a-kind answer. Oh, no! She said, well, we're going to figure it out. You sit over here, we'll talk to you after class. You're going to meet the Board of Education. But back in those days, they still had corporal punishment, so the Board of Education was getting hit on the butt with a wooden paddle, which is what happened. But here's what I remember. For that little amount of time, I had accidentally put my finger right on that thing, that gift, that thing that I have the ability to do. And it was like a little voice inside me trying to get my attention. It was like, hey, I'm Ryan, I'm stalking. Guess what? You're really good at speaking in front of people. You're good at it, you don't even need notes. However, next time, you might want to do the work so you don't actually compete with a stick, eh? Every one of us has that little voice. Now, I hope your voice don't sound like that. But that is your inner GPS. Like, have you ever like did a dance and everybody was looking at you and you just like hit it? Or whether you wrote, like you drew a picture, it was just like awesome. Or maybe you're really good at computers. Whatever it is, whatever that thing is that you like to do, when you get that like in the zone feeling, that is your inner GPS calculated. It's like sending a little message. Calculated, calculated. It's pinging on that thing that you can do. And the great thing